This Teeling gives me a Christmas feeling.
That's right, because this week we're looking at the Christmas batch release from the Teeling Whiskey Distillery here in Ireland. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd.
I'm Rose and I'm the Whiskey Noob.
And like we said, this week we're looking at the Christmas batch whiskey from the Teeling Distillery. So we get into the glasses and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. Although actually you might be able to tell us a little bit about it because
I bought it.
You bought it at the airport. This was an airport release.
It was, and I was traveling back to the States over Thanksgiving, so I was like, you know what, I need to bring a present back. So I saw that Teeling had this out, or actually I found out from a certain someone, credit where credit's due, that this is out. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll bring this back to the fam, back home. And he's like, but will you get
me one too?
And I happened to try this one before he did, because I got to try it, open this bottle up in the States, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It went down,
divine.
I think it was one of those whiskeys where I think it was opened and basically people kept saying, oh, can we have a bit more of that? Can we get a bit more of that? Yeah.
There was a member of family who's not normally a whiskey drinker that had only a little bit, and then she really liked it. She went back for more and then carried the bottle around. And then the poor person that I actually got this for was like, no, my whiskey!
Yeah.
It went down so well.
Yeah, it's a very nice little, that's why I was like, let's film this review now so that we can enjoy the rest of the bottle because it is very, very tasty.
Oh, it's not gonna last long at all.
It won't last long, no. This, as I said, it was an airport exclusive, but I think like it went down so well, they might do another batch maybe next year.
Maybe, I hope so.
Yeah, so this is Teeling. So this is an Irish whiskey distillery. What they do is they took their small batch whiskey, which is 75% grain whiskey and 25% malt whiskey. It's got a pretty nice amount of malt in it, and they blend it together and make what's called their small batch whiskey. Normally for their small batch, it goes into bourbon casks and then is finished in rum casks for between 6 months and 12 months, depending on the rum cask, the time of year, because that'll impact how it ages.
Yeah.
For this one though, it wasn't finished in rum cask, it was finished in 3 different types of wine casks. It was finished in red wine, sherry wine, and port wine casks.
Oh, sherry and port.
Yeah,
yum yum.
That's gonna give you the red wine gives you almost tannic dry, but red wine berry notes. The sherry can give you almost sometimes savory, nutty, stewed fruits.
Oh yeah.
And then the port gives you really bright, juicy, not plums, raspberries, and give you strawberries, and give you really bright fruity notes. And those 3 things kind of combined make what I think is a really nice kind of Christmassy whiskey.
Oh, it's definitely a Christmassy whiskey. The Christmas vibes are to the max in this.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount. It is their small batch whiskey. We've reviewed that before. I'll put a link to the small batch whiskey down below. It is a nice little whiskey, but it's just that with an interesting little finish special for the holidays.
Yeah.
So I think, shall we go in for the nose on this? Cheers. Sláinte.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, it does come in at 46% ABV.
My favorite.
So it's a little bit higher than that floor, but 46% is a great percent for drinking and nosing, because you're gonna get a lot of flavor without it being harsh.
Yeah, there's nothing harshness. No harsh alcohol smell on the nose. It's got Christmas spices in there.
It's got a nice immediately as I bring it up, I get the red berries. I get the But then it's almost like the red berries, and then you get the wine influence. There is that little bit of, like you said, almost
definitely
spicy,
wine.
Almost like black pepper, that kind of.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I the way I kind of view it's when you put salt in a pie, it doesn't make sense really. The pie is supposed to be sweet, but the salt brings out the flavor. So I think some of the red wine or whatnot brings out the flavors and really rounds it all out.
Yeah, because if it was just sherry and port, that is nice, but it would be very, very syrupy.
Yeah.
This here, it brings back with just a little bit of tannins, a tannic note, and just keeps it. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'd be able to pick out exactly the sherry or exactly the port.
Gosh,
I'm just getting a lot of red berries with that tannic note.
Yeah. Reminds me of being on a sleigh.
On a Santa sleigh.
Yeah.
There is a base layer of sweetness there, I think. Because they obviously would have gone into bourbon casks, so there is a bit of sweetness. Maybe a creaminess, almost like a vanilla, but it really is dominated by those spices, the Christmas spicy notes, that kind of flavor. Yeah.
Now, what a Christmas spices or the spices, I'm not totally sure.
Yeah.
I just know I'm getting those vibes. Maybe what goes into a mince pie?
Yeah, mince pie. I would say mince pie or mulled wine with it.
Yeah.
There's cinnamon, there's nutmeg, there's cloves, but there's also like orange peel or lemon peel sometimes.
Yeah.
You get that little bit of citrus.
I think that's what I mean by like the Christmassy
spices.
Yeah.
Rather than just like baking spices.
No.
It's got that extra bit of like only star anise.
It goes another level or two.
Yeah.
Ooh, star anise. You're getting very fancy and Christmassy.
Yeah. Would you like to go in?
Absolutely.
For the palate, yes.
I'm going to revisit this.
Cheers.
Sláinte. Oh.
Yeah.
So good. Oh. Yeah. No, there's a little bit of heat.
Yeah. It's almost like there's a bit of heat from the 46%, but it's almost like drying. Like I'm getting that red wine influence again, but loads of like black pepper, loads of sweetness, loads of berries, like.
It is so well-rounded.
It's really well.
You get a lot of it's not like overly sweet or anything. It's still, this is a whiskey.
Yeah.
But like, it's just a Christmas whiskey. Like, it's so good. It's just so balanced. Like when you think it's going sweet, then it's going spicy. When you think it's going spicy, then it's going sweet. And you're just like, I'm just along for this sleigh ride.
Yeah, because I think the way they went with the casks, like I said earlier, it could have gone really sweet if they'd just done port and sherry.
Yeah.
I think this is nicely rounded.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoever put this together, it was their idea.
I think Alex Chasko, the head distiller, it says crafted by Alex Chasko. Yeah. So
he did a damn good job.
A damn good job. I'm gonna win for another sip. See if I can get like more behind those spices and see what else I can get. Cheers.
Sláinte.
Yeah, there's a little bit there's a little bit of nuttiness I'm getting.
Oh.
Like for me, sometimes sherry, like Oloroso sherry, can give like
walnuts,
that kind of like nuttiness.
Yeah.
Like almost like walnuts in the skin, where it's.
Which is also Christmassy.
It's almost Christmassy, but you get that like the drying note again. I think that's where like the red wine and the sherry are giving me those kind of like drying out the skin of the walnut, that kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just nice. It's Christmassy.
It does. Like it gives me such Christmas vibes. Like you're on the sleigh in the snow, or you're in front of a warm, cozy fire, snuggling up with your loved one, having a little whiskey. Oh. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think I'm gonna go in for the finish.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So again, up front, it hits your mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a hugely like thick mouthfeel.
No.
But it hits you with a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
Like you get the berries, the spices, a little bit of drying notes.
I call it a 60% mouthfeel.
60% mouthfeel. And then once you take a breath, once you take a swallow, you get a little bit of warmth.
Oh yeah, it's good tingly warmth.
And I'd say the berries probably fade off faster, leaving that kind of spicy, the dry notes, the red wine influence probably stays on the longest. Like getting a little bit of like the bourbon sweetness, that vanilla kind of character, but it's mostly into that red wine. Because again, when you're drinking, like if you drink a good red wine, you do get that kind of like, you know, when you probably know more about it than me, but when you drink red wine, it sucks the moisture out of your cheeks.
Yeah.
That kind of like the tannins of this.
Yeah, it's quite nice. Like for me, like I still get a little bit of everything. Like instead of like the typical like berry-ish notes, like the dark berries I would normally get from like a port or sherry or something like that, it is definitely the red berries, and I think they stick around a little bit along with the spices. Like it's just Christmas joy at the end.
It's Christmas vibes only.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all there is to say. I mean, it's a nice little whiskey. It was released if you were traveling through Dublin.
A nice little whiskey, it's perfection.
Yes, if you were traveling through Dublin Airport, you were probably able to get this. If not, I hope they do batches again in future, maybe a wider release batch, because it definitely was well received here and in America.
Yes.
So I think that's all there is to say for now.
This is mine.
That's hers. I guess I'm going to have to enjoy all this, and we'll see you next time. Sláinte.
Bye-bye.